All right. Getting ready to get everything started here. So you can let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if the background music is too loud or if it's too low or if my mic, you can't hear me. This is the first time I'm doing the stream in this setup here, so I'm just making sure I get all my ducks in a row. Waiting to get some people in here. We're gonna get a nice little discussion going on around this movie. Alright. What's going on, peanut butter? It was a letdown. Okay, so we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna give my thoughts. I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth because I feel like some people may have taken that review the wrong way that I put up yesterday. So I just want to go a little bit more in depth on certain aspects of this movie and see if we can all get a good discussion going. What's going on? Crown Prince, what's going on? Amy for fun. AMV for fun. My bad. I don't got my glasses on. Laptop's over to the right. Oh, you haven't seen it yet. Oh boy. Yeah, this is gonna be spoiler-filled review, fam. So I'm not sure if you'll wanna hear it. I appreciate that, AMV. So good. So what I want to start off and say is I don't want anybody to think that based on my review yesterday that I thought the movie was trash or bad in any way. Now, the score that I gave it, which was a 7 out of 10, that just goes to show you that I don't think that it was bad at all. I thought it was a great movie. My review focused a lot on the pain points that I had and some things that I thought that could have done better, and some people didn't appreciate that, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. One thing I will say though, that there's this notion with some people in this community, this Dragon Ball community, that if you don't like something that's going on, then you're not a fan, and we need to just squash that. I literally had somebody on the video straight up tell me that I wasn't a fan of Dragon Ball simply because I called out some things that I didn't necessarily like and thought could have done better in the movie. So y'all, this is an open forum. I'm gonna be reading the comments and talking back and forth with you guys, and I'm gonna kind of go piece by piece through the movie on things that I like, go a little bit more in depth than I did yesterday. Crown Prince, thank you. Yeah, 7 out of 10, that's a passing score. That's a 70%. And like I said, I gave my score just straight up purely based on the amazing animation. For them to animate a film to that caliber and have it so consistent for that long period of time was just, you can tell they put everything into this movie, man. They left nothing on the table when it came to the animation. My pain points were more with, the story, or, what I felt was lack of build up toward that fight. And some people may say, well, oh, Dragon Ball's never been known for plot. I had people making that excuse for Dragon Ball. Oh, Dragon Ball has never really been known for plot. Yes, we know that, but does that mean that it can't grow as a show? Does it mean that just because it's not known for having a strong plot that we can't get a strong plot in a movie? You know, I've seen some people saying that Toriyama wrote a 3-hour-long script and they cut it. I didn't know that he wrote a 3-hour-long script. And if they do a director's cut, maybe there's some sequences in there that they animated that they cut from the film. Who knows? But we're just gonna have to wait and see, you know, whenever that Blu-ray or the digital version of that does come out to the people. Real quick, Vandy, yeah, I was actually thinking about that today. What you said, there was no blood in the entire movie. I don't know if anybody noticed that, or if there was blood, I missed it. I didn't see anything like that. It felt like they were keeping it pretty tame on the gore, and for obvious reasons, we all know why that's going to be a thing now. So let's go ahead and start off with how the movie began. You know, introducing Frieza taking over the Cold Force and becoming the Frieza Force. We get the quick cameo from the Ginyu Force. That, you know, that was cool. I appreciated that. They showed just how savage Frieza is, as if we didn't really know already. But, you know, even just solidifying that much more and kind of setting the stage for all the events to unfold from there. And, you know, we also, that sequence was also the setup for King Vegeta and Paragus and him exiling Broly and sending him off to Planet Vampa. Cool, right? So my thing, you know, in retrospect, you watch the movie, my whole thing about that was, what was the true purpose of that? I mean, we get to see how Scouters came to be, like how all the Saiyans came to have all these Scouters and all that, but what purpose did it really serve in terms of building the movie? I don't really think it served any purpose in that. It was just, I just felt like it was like, oh, random Dragon Ball fact, this is where Scouters came from. And again, I thought it was interesting to see that. That was definitely cool, but in the scope of the movie, you know, the topic of the movie, I felt like something else could have been used there, or we could have gotten other kinds of information. As far as the story with Vegeta and King Vegeta and Paragus and the exiling of Broly, if we're gonna be 100% real, they did it. The alteration that they made to the story, it was inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. If you want to be 100% honest, the way they handle everything, it really didn't make a difference. It was just to be different from the original and solidify this as canon. And the whole movie was basically just to make Broly and Gogeta canon and make Broly a good guy, so that if he is to be utilized in the future, that is a possibility, in my opinion. Yo, by the way, quick off topic, King Solomon, can we just take a moment to acknowledge that Frieza survived Broly for an hour and a half while Goku and Vegeta learned fusion? It's interesting you said that, because I'm gonna bring that up because there's something I want to discuss, and it's probably gonna like cause all kinds of chaos in the chat, and y'all probably gonna say I'm full of shit. So but thank you for bringing that up. But yeah, the whole point was to make Broly a good guy. Now, a lot of the early reviewers, people were saying, oh, you know, Broly, he actually gets character development. He's not just saying Kakarot the whole movie and this and that, and we're getting more story and plot. And that simply wasn't the truth. That was, you know, it's my fault for taking what the reviewers were saying to heart and, you know, really truly believing it and hyping that up in my heart, like, oh wow, like maybe this is gonna happen. If we're being real, Broly had like 1 paragraph worth of dialogue in the entire film. They asked him what his name was. He said Broly. Then he told homegirl and the other dude, don't talk about my father that way. And then he told a story about how he got the fur. And that was it. That was it for the whole movie. That's all he said. He didn't say anything else for the remainder of the film. The remainder of the film was just a brawl. He literally had like a paragraph worth of dialogue, maybe like 2 minutes worth of dialogue in the whole movie. I don't consider that character development. And if you consider that character development, then you need to raise the bar for yourself on what you find acceptable in terms of character development. And Dragon Ball is a property that's going on 30 years old, and I feel like we can get better and we deserve better, especially from a fan favorite character like Broly. And y'all know, if you've been on the channel, Broly is my favorite character in all of Dragon Ball, like point blank, period. There's no character that I enjoyed more than Broly, and I felt like it was just for them to utilize him in the future. We didn't get anything out of that character development wise. His hands was over talking though. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they were throwing hands. I would say that. Real quick, I'm gonna go in between and answer questions too. Based on how Goku sought after Broly to make him a sparring partner, do you think Broly will become a member of Universe 7 in the next Tournament of Power? I don't think that there's gonna be another Tournament of Power. The current arc with Moro, I don't know if Broly is gonna get recruited into this arc. It's definitely a possibility. I don't really see it happening. I don't see them utilizing Broly for a long time. If they do, it was just to like appease the fans, in my opinion, and because a lot of fans were begging for Broly to be a good guy, and that, you know, that blows my mind. To be frank, I was fine with, you know, a Broly being just a straight up villain. And I don't know if people have been watching too much Naruto, but not everybody needs to be friends in these anime. I miss the days when people in Dragon Ball would die. Like, you would get killed. I miss that. Now everybody wants to become friends, with the exception of Zamasu in Dragon Ball Super. You know, there wasn't really any death. Everybody was like friends by the end of it. You know, Beerus showed up in the first Dragon Ball Super movie. Beerus is their friend. Frieza comes through, they fight, you know. He died, but now Frieza's their friend. Frieza is the anti-hero. He is their friend, but they're not gonna say that Frieza and Goku and Vegeta are friends, but they're low-key friends. At the end of the Broly movie, Frieza's just like, basically like, oh damn, like, I guess I'll pull up on y'all next time. And Gogeta lets him fly off and just leave. It's because they're fucking friends. That's how it is. Everybody's... I was fine with Broly being a bad Saiyan, and I don't think that we need any extra Saiyans. We have plenty of underutilized Saiyans and half-breed Saiyans in Dragon Ball. Let's develop the supporting cast. A lot of people are like, oh, but they're fodder. They're gonna get fodderized. But it's not our job to figure out how to not make these people fodder. It's the writer's job. And I don't know if they're just afraid to take risks. They could even have an arc where we scoops everybody up and takes everybody out for some training. And then everybody gets a nice boost. Everybody is decent and can actually put in some work. But no, the remaining Z cast is relegated to being a joke, and you can see that in this movie. It was a Goku and Vegeta show. I miss the days when I could have a favorite character that wasn't Goku or Vegeta, and back when everybody had a moment. Krillin had a moment, Tien had his moment against Cell, Piccolo had moments, he had that nasty fight with Android 17. Everybody had moments, but now it's just you getting beat the fuck up until Goku show up, basically. So even with this new arc with Moro, I think in my chapter review when it first happened, I actually brought that up. Off rip, Goku and Vegeta like just taken away from everybody else to start the plot. But there's something that we just have to accept, that this is what it's gonna be right now. Pedro, they didn't put the Bardock war. Yeah, they didn't. That's what I had skipped over with the Bardock stuff. I thought that I was gonna see a little bit more of the Dragon Ball Minus stuff. It was really undercooked. I think Bardock deserved a little bit more than what they gave him in the film. A lot of it felt rushed to get toward the fight. Now, in terms of comedy, I think the movie did really well. They had a lot of funny moments. I was not expecting Frieza's wish to be to grow taller. I was just like, alright, whatever, bro. That's what you want, then go get it. I thought that was good. But yeah, the comedy was well done. Especially even when they tried to run off after Frieza's boys tried to grab the Dragon Balls and Vegeta just straight up shot them out the sky. I thought that was hilarious. That was probably like the funniest part of the movie to me. Next to when they abandoned Frieza and let him get worked for a little while by Broly so they could disappear and go learn the fusion technique. Now, let's see. Hey man, Free Riley, you doing yourself a disservice, man. Go watch that in the theater, bro. And Esteban, we do need a Gohan arc. We got lied to in the Tournament of Power, and they told us that Gohan was gonna get redemption, and he didn't get jack squat. Roshi, my issue with Dragon Ball is that the story is so linear. Everyone looks at it with nostalgia goggles. This might be unpopular, what I'm saying. No, I mean, yes, it might be unpopular, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody looks at it through nostalgia glasses. I am 28 years old. I've been watching Dragon Ball since I was like 6, and you know, I'm at a certain point where my taste in anime has grown, and there's been so many amazing things and stories told within anime that I feel like they can do something better with Dragon Ball, and hopefully this new arc is gonna do that with the moral stuff. So I'm hoping that that's gonna do that. The movie itself, it gave, let's be real, it gave the majority of the fan base exactly what they wanted: a long ass fight, just straight out brawl. But it wasn't like bullshit Tournament of Power, like it was actual choreographed movesets and crazy stuff that we've never seen before. Now, if one of y'all know what Goku did to Jiren, y'all could let me know, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around that God Key lock that he had him in, where he just couldn't move. When he sunned him, I thought that was dope. And while we're on the topic of the God Key and Goku, I know a lot of us feel like they didn't hold Vegeta out in the film, but didn't they kind of like hold him out a little bit? Vegeta got like 5 minutes of the fight. Like, they didn't hold him as in like he got like completely just dusted by Broly, but they gave him a little bit of the fight. He went God mode, and you know, he was still handling Broly. Broly transformed and started giving him that work, and then Goku jumps in base form and is doing just fine after Vegeta was kind of like getting manhandled, and it took a lot to push Goku to that God form. So he still got hold a little bit, but again, it was all about getting people what they wanted to see, which was this fight between Goku and Broly. Mr. Black, yeah, if Broly gets God Key, it's over with, and then I would be over with the show too. Soapy, Broly would clap Jiren. Ooh, this is actually what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about this. I'm gonna skip ahead and talk about this. So this is interesting. A lot of people just assume that Broly is stronger than Jiren, but based on the fight, we have to take what we've seen from the fight and you know, and move forward with it. Broly was handling Goku and Vegeta just like how Jiren was handling them. I mean, Broly's much more savage with it, but like they were trying to double team Jiren too and couldn't do nothing. They couldn't touch him. He was manhandling them. It took the trumpets. It took Ultra Instinct to get Jiren, you know, to get Jiren bodied, but obviously we didn't get Ultra Instinct in this movie. We got the fusion, but if Goku and Vegeta would have fused against Jiren, they would have took him out as well. I think a fusion would have took out Jiren just as easy. And another thing to lend to my point is that Frieza by himself, they left Frieza by himself for an hour plus, like defending himself against Broly, and he didn't die. And we've seen what Jiren was doing and how far Jiren pushed them to the brink. So I honestly don't know. I mean, yeah, we can just go ahead and give it to Broly because he's a Saiyan, and Saiyans continue to get stronger. But I feel like that's cheap, and that's actually, this is one thing that I appreciated about the movie. You know, the it's low-key power scaling, the way that the fight was handled. Because, you know, I was thinking about Jiren the whole time, and I was like, man, I wonder if they're gonna just make this dude just completely, ridiculously, utterly unstoppable, just like how Jiren was. And I think they did a good job. They did a good job handling it to where I felt like it wasn't just too much. They were just doing too much. Jiren would have gotten bodied by Broly. SSJB. Gogeta was basically near UI level. I don't. This is where the waters get muddied, man. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but the Potara fusion is stronger than the fusion dance in traditional, you know, DBZ lore, correct? And if that is the truth, then that would still make Vegito stronger than Gogeta, but seeing as how they've been retconning shit left and right just to fit the narrative they want, who knows? Broly has to be stronger than Jiren so the movie has value. I disagree. Why do people feel like that? That is a standard that has been set by Dragon Ball, and it is the writer's fault that people feel that way. Like, I don't feel that an enemy has to be stronger than the last one for it to provide value, man. Bring some strategy into it. You know, some strategic fights. If they were able to do that, then that might switch some stuff up. And Mr. Black, Jiren is more experienced than Broly. I'd say Jiren would win. Power is useless without skill and experience. That is a fantastic point. Jiren has actually been putting in work for several years. So I would agree with that statement that you made there. Potara fusions is for drawn out fights, as the power is more stable. Fusion dance is for quick fights and has more power on the top end. King Solomon, where's the source for that? Is there like a wiki where they detail that? I don't think they said Potara was stronger but better because no time limit. This was answered by YouTuber Tokyosaurus. I've seen a few of that guy's videos, but I haven't seen that one necessarily. If Akira Toriyama had Oda Brain, bruh, the Dragon Piece, best comic in history. You damn straight. But so let's talk about something else about this film that this film lacked, and that Dragon Ball as a whole has lacked for quite some time, and that is the feeling of hopelessness and despair, and the feeling that there's nothing that can be done at all. Now, in the first Broly movie, the original Broly movie, my favorite Dragon Ball movie, and still, even after this, my favorite Dragon Ball movie, Broly mopped up all the Z fighters. They all got completely destroyed. They were all fighting for their lives, literally. They were all putting in that work, going ham, trying to defend themselves, and it was hopeless. It was completely hopeless. Goku was on his deathbed. This is what I'm talking about when I mean, like, we need that feeling of hopelessness back. Broly was such a savage. He stripped them of all hope. That doesn't happen anymore. Goku and Vegeta have ascended to such a level where they're so strong, where it's hard to even, yes, it's an anime, but it's hard to suspend your disbelief, because it's just like, alright, we already know that y'all stronger than then buddy, so just go ahead and just finish it up already. There's no hopelessness, there's no despair. We need that feeling back. We need that feeling back of just pure rotten evil, to where it feels like, oh man, they might die unless somebody give Goku some energy. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I need, man. That feeling when Broly was stomping Goku out in the first movie, stomping him out, and Goku was screaming, writhing in pain. Where is that feeling? That has been missing from Dragon Ball for so long. I feel like they're catering to the new generation of people, and it's just so soft. Everything's so soft. We didn't even get no blood in the movie. Just toughen it up. We need more bad guys. Just straight savage. Kill these people. Die. I know y'all be like, oh, Broly was a good guy in this movie. Yes, he was a good guy. I feel like, in my opinion, a lot of y'all might disagree. In both movies, Broly is a victim of circumstance. A lot of you might not understand what I mean. In both films, he is a victim of circumstance. In the first movie, his father was completely controlling him. He was a complete puppet in the first movie. And his dad was controlling him and utilizing his power to go around, destroy all these planets, subjugate people. That's what Paragus was doing in the first movie. And, you know, when Broly wasn't in his savage form, he was tame, he was calm until he would see Goku. And then, yeah, we all know the shitty part of the movie, Goku crying and Kakaroto, that annoying BS, that terrible plot point. Yes, we get that. But in the grand scheme of things, he's still a victim of circumstance. His dad is controlling everything that he does. He had the fucking bracer on his hand, controlling everything. In this movie, he was also a victim of circumstance. Once he snapped, once he started getting bodied in the fight, it was over. He lost himself. And if we being real, people talk about character development in the original Broly movie. When Broly turned into a savage, he had more character than Broly had in this entire movie. Let's be completely real. When Broly became a savage in the first movie and was talking shit and destroying everybody and crushing their hopes and dreams, he had character. He was like a demon. When he looked at the slaves and he was like, oh, y'all want to go back to your planet? Okay, nope, and blew that shit up. That was more character than he showed in this entire movie. In this movie, I felt like he had the personality of a tree trunk. Let's be real. The fight was amazing though. He was throwing them hands. I'm fine with that. But in terms of development, let's not act like this is the best that we've ever seen in Dragon Ball. Let's see. This new Broly had Goku screaming like a hoe too. When? The DB story depends too much on the next enemy having to be stronger than previous enemies, so the plot devolves into a transformation showcase and isn't giving room to grow from a narrative perspective. Yo, hold this W. I actually made a video about this a few months ago, and that was when Ultra Instinct was first announced. And I was like, why like so many more transformations? I am glad Ultra Instinct did not show up in this movie. I would have been pissed. I would have been so pissed. I think Ultra Instinct should be one and done, and that's it. And I don't watch too many YouTubers, but there's one that I like, and I watch his videos like every day just because he's funny as fuck, and I feel like he tells the truth when it comes to certain things regarding anime. I don't necessarily agree with everything that he says, but his dude Mad Black Entertainment, I think he changed his channel to like Toxic Entertainment, and he had a good theory on this new arc in Dragon Ball Super with Moro the Planet Eater. And his theory was that Moro could possibly put an end to the God Key stuff. Moro could potentially absorb all their God Key, and then they would be stripped of that. I think that would be extremely entertaining and would open Dragon Ball up even more. That's just how I feel. I know a lot of people be like, oh hell no, we don't want to get rid of those forms, but it'll make some stuff interesting. Think about if you play a Metroid game. Every time you play a Metroid game, you think you're just gonna run in with Samus fully powered up in your suit? Nope. They're gonna take all your shit from you and you're gonna be back at square one. And the goal is to get stronger as you go through and get all your shit back. I think that'd be cool. Broly tossed Goku around like a rag doll. Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah. He gave him that that Hulk versus Loki. And J-Trap, you loved UI. I'm pretty sure we all loved UI. You know, I talk shit about it. I didn't want to see no more transformations, but then when the trumpets kicked in, you know, you just get hype. But it's just not something that I want to see like over and over again. Like, I would prefer a little bit more strategy to the fights, and they had some strategy in the fight. Like, there was some dope shit going on, and I don't know if y'all caught it, but I feel like Goku tried to hit him with a Rasengan, a little God Key Rasengan, a little bit of inspiration thrown in there. Y'all might not believe it, but I think that's what that was. They've shown that Naruto's a big influence, especially in the Resurrection F movie when they drew the Konoha leaves on their gi. Merge Zamasu gave them that hopelessness, and they basically lost. I'm gonna give you, Alex. I'm gonna give you that one. I'm gonna give you that. Yeah. I thought that the way the anime ended that arc was complete trash, but like, I can give you that. Why not just finish the show then? Next arc, Beerus dies and Broly becomes Destroyer God and Goku a Kai. Like, Dragon Ball's a cash cow. They're never gonna end Dragon Ball ever in life. Kid Raditz was funny. Oh yeah, I appreciated that scene as well. With Kid Raditz and Kid Vegeta, I thought that was cool. They really didn't give a damn when they found out that Planet Vegeta got erased, which was funny to me. That little scene that we saw there, I wish we would have seen more. Again, because right after we got the Paragus running off to Vampa to go rescue Broly, right after they showed the quick sequence with Bardock and Guinea shipping Goku off, and right after the Kid Raditz and Vegeta thing, we jumped right into the fight, basically. But with friends like Whis, are they ever really in trouble? That's a good question. When people like Whis can just rewind time and save the day? No. And speaking of Whis, that tease, now it was funny because we were in the theater and we thought we might have seen a fight between Whis and Broly. And Broly was coming after Whis, and then Lupa was next to me. He's like, "Oh, Broly, you don't want that." And that's the truth. Broly wouldn't have wanted it with Whis. Whis would have took his ass out in an instant. Whis is like the strongest person in the show that's surrounding them. Like, I mean around them. I know we have Zeno and shit, but Whis is stronger than Beerus. So Whis is not getting slammed by nobody. Justin Green, I didn't like that go Gogeta, go Broly shit, bro. Wait. Are you talking about the background music? The shit from the audio in the back? Is that what you're talking about? Because I was having issues with that too. I was leaning next to my boy. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I kept hearing like another voice that wasn't Goku saying Kamehameha and shit. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, are they just fucking with the audio, or is that part of the music? You know we're not gonna escape you're not gonna escape a dub anime film without some cringe shit in it. It's just not gonna happen. The Gogeta theme was whack. You know, the Gogeta theme was whack, but Gogeta was just completely and utterly unstoppable. It was ridiculous. Like, saying Broly was getting fucked up is an understatement, in my opinion. That was rough, man. Oof. Do you think that the whole thing, half with Frieza and the Saiyans, could have been a separate movie? I would appreciate that. I would have appreciated more of the Dragon Ball Minus stuff because I read it, but I would have loved to see that animated. That would have been a perfect opportunity to put that into the film. I thought we were gonna get the way that they animated the trailer, or edited the trailer is what I meant to say, was a little bit misleading. If you guys remember the trailer, they were like, oh, 3 Saiyans, and talking about destiny and all this stuff and showing them as kids. And if I remember my reaction to that trailer, I was so hyped that we were actually going to get some plot and story behind it. And I was really looking forward to them, you know, showing more of them as children and their growth and development. And we didn't get that. It was just more of a cock tease, if anything else, to be honest. Now, if they would have translated this movie into an arc in Dragon Ball, that would have been an opportunity for them to spend more time expanding on those story elements, but they're not going to do that, more than likely. If Dragon Ball Super as an anime is even coming back, we haven't had any confirmation or anything like that yet. Just continuation of the manga, which picks up right after the Broly movie ends. But they even KO'd Broly with Gogeta's glitter ball. Oh yeah, hell yeah. I heard a lot of those scenes were cut. See, bro, if they really cut that, then I'm really gonna have to cop the Blu-ray, and if they have a director's cut, watch that, because I feel like that's a lot of important Dragon Ball history that we potentially missed out on. I don't necessarily feel like we needed to know where Scouters came from. I didn't feel like that was super important. It was interesting, yeah, but it was unnecessary because Scouters are completely useless at this point in the series. If Broly had his tail, it would be better. That's possible, but we'll never know. His pops ripped it off. And speaking of his pops ended up being the same piece of shit. Everything is his fault, in my opinion, in both movies. It's his fault. I would blame it on him. Yeah, I definitely got to blame it on him. And I found his death, like I said, his death in the movie was very unceremonious compared to in the first movie, where in the first movie his death was literally poetic justice. He's trying to escape from this monster that he created himself. He created that monster. He was the one controlling Broly to do all that terrible shit. And what did Broly do? Oh, where you going, bitch? And what did he do? He crushed him in that pod, and it was awful. It was just god awful. Terrible way to go out, but fitting for his character. To have Frieza just kill him, make a joke out of it, and then never show Paragus for the rest of the movie, I thought that was fucked up. That was fucked up bad. Yeah, y'all probably forgot about that. After Frieza blasted him, they didn't show him for the rest of the movie. That was it. Done. But it was funny. You know, again, they made light of the situation, which is just crazy. But yeah, he's mad because he's not like his son, a gangster. Broly's potential is insane. He went from getting wrecked by SSJ Vegeta to fighting Gogeta in under 1 hour and 30 minutes. In that movie, he fought his first human and already got so strong so quick. Yeah, even Vegeta was like saying that he was learning as he fights. Vegeta was toying with him for a while too. They made Vegeta look like a star, a superstar in those 5 to 10 minutes that he was fighting Broly before Vegeta backed out of the fight so Goku can jump into this fucking spotlight as usual. And there was a point in the movie where I literally looked over at somebody that I was with and I was like, where the fuck is Vegeta? And right when I said that, this was like toward the end of the movie, like that was when Vegeta jumped in and then they started double teaming him but still getting wrecked before they left Frieza on his own to handle Broly, because it was partially his fault as well. So Frieza get absolutely fucked up. Somebody said it in the comments on the review yesterday. He was like, now Frieza finally knows what it's like to wait for Goku to show up. That's hilarious. That's what that's Dragon Ball Z. You getting beat up. That's your role. You get beat up. You might have a moment, but you're losing. And your job is to wait for Goku to show up and save your ass in the nick of time. And that's what Frieza had to experience, man. If you think about it, it's Chili's fault. Yeah, it could be her. It could be her fault too, because they could have left. They could have just not gone to Vampa. Aside from Broly and Jiren, what about Moro? I wonder how his magic scales to his power level. Yo, I'm gonna be real. I don't even want to think about it. Thinking about Dragon Ball and power scaling is just gonna make my fucking head hurt, and then I'm just gonna get upset and I'm gonna start being mad, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm just gonna read and see what happens. I'm interested to see where it goes though, for real. Now the question: who is the legendary Super Saiyan now? Broly is not referred to as this in canon, unless full power is still legendary Super Saiyan. Ooh, I think Goku is the legendary Super Saiyan. Like, I think that's the way it's always been. Even in the first movie, they thought it was Broly, but in reality, it's Goku. Like, yeah, Broly has that title, but in reality, Goku is the legendary Super Saiyan. Talk about Nanatsu no Taizai. Is that one of the animators? I haven't gone in depth into the animators yet. I tried to stay away from everything regarding this movie besides the trailers, which ended up spoiling the movie anyway. Gohan is the legendary Super Saiyan. I feel like he always had more potential than his dad. Wow, that's a... You know how we feel about Gohan on this channel. About how they keep holding out Gohan and acting like he's gonna do something, but in reality he's not. He's asking about 7 deadly sins. Oh, this is not... We talk about Dragon Ball tonight, bro. I'm gonna do other streams where I talk about other things. I plan on doing a One Piece stream too. For y'all that's been following the One Piece thing, don't worry, that's gonna be a lit ass stream. I got a lot of shit to talk about for One Piece. Which Broly do you like more, OG or Super? Me personally, I think OG was better because he was a ruthless psychopath. Facts. Nothing can ever take that feeling away from me of the original Broly. And even though this one shits on that in terms of animation quality and what they did in choreographed fights, just the savagery, it was bad. The people getting clotheslined, people getting stomped out, people eating beams, him blowing up an entire planet right in front of its inhabitants. There's just too much. Now, they ruined Broly with the subsequent movies. They should have left it at 1. And, you know, but hey, that's what happens when you get something good, you milk it. I thought Gogeta was gonna look cool going Super Saiyan Blue, but that crap was instant. Yeah, they don't got time to wait on that, like, at all. El Hermano would solo Universe 7. Alright, I should block you for that. I should ban you from the chat. I'm playing. He became Super Saiyan of Legend when he fought and killed Frieza's ancestor. I think it was Cold's father. Are you talking about Bardock? OG Broly was like 1993 though. What does that have to do with anything? Just because it was 1993, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean it can't be better. That's like saying that Dragon Ball Super is better than Dragon Ball Z because it's newer than Dragon Ball Z. And we all know that that's not the case. What do you think about the small glimpse of Ultra Instinct Goku they gave in the movie? I think that was pure fan service just to get everybody hyped. Because everybody did it when they saw it, they're like, oh. Yeah, you're not getting that. Ultra Instinct is done, fam. At least I think it's done. I would like to see Cumber in the series. Isn't Cumber from Super Dragon Ball Heroes? I stay away from Super Dragon Ball Heroes. Was sending a text. Yeah, I was talking about Bardock. Oh, okay. Yeah. They've called Bardock the legendary Super Saiyan. They've called Broly the legendary Super Saiyan. Who the fuck knows who the legendary Super Saiyan is? Why don't we ask Akira Toriyama so he can make some shit up and probably tell us something else? Weren't they saying that Yamoshi was the legendary Super Saiyan? Who knows who the legendary Super Saiyan is? I don't. Krillin would clap Whis? What? Life is J. That's why the animation is not up to par. The animation in the original Broly movie, I think, is better than the majority of the animation we saw in Dragon Ball Super, with the exception of a couple key fights, and obviously the final fight between Jiren and Goku and Frieza. Those friends who are surrounding Broly are pretty much his calming force and will either prevent or trigger him into rage if they get hurt. That's true. Now my question is, are y'all just gonna stay on that planet forever and not this planet with no water, so Saiyans can survive without water? This planet with no water and nothing else but bug juice. Y'all just gonna stay out there? Did Vegeta use dark blue form in the movie? No, people were lying about that. Don't believe what they're saying. Vegeta does not use his Dragon Ball Evolution form in the movie. Thoughts on Broly using his 8 power and base form similarly to what Goku did in GT to activate SSJ4 potential T's. I was thinking the same thing when they said that. I was like, oh wow, I feel like they're low-key teasing Super Saiyan 4. That's what I felt, to be honest. I don't know if that's what they were trying to do, but they did some cool stuff, man. And nice little callbacks. Like, we all know Gogeta wasn't canon from the movie with Janemba, but they had some callbacks to it when they fucked up the fusion and turned into the fat Gogeta, turned into the skinny one. Like, that was still a callback to the original Gogeta movie, so that was cool there. And Piccolo, man, Piccolo, like, real funny story. So when Piccolo telepathically communicates with Goku, my boy was sitting next to me, and we were just mocking Piccolo's voice. They were mocking him, like saying like Piccolo was basically telling Goku like, I'm not coming. Like, don't ask me to come out there because I'm not gonna come. So Piccolo was just somewhere sensing the fight, as usual, standing on the tallest fucking cliff pillar in the entire area. He's always standing on the tallest thing possible. That's what Piccolo is known for. Like, I guess I find that hilarious because he's consistent. You gotta give props to Piccolo, man. He's consistent, bro. And I mean, Broly lived on bug juice for a couple of years till adulthood. That's more than a couple years, bro. Like, that was a couple decades, man. Piccolo was basically supposed to be Bean Guy, and he was like, nah, I'm not holding. Pretty much. And another thing that I called out about the movie, I called out about how every single one of the Z Warriors in existence probably sensed this fight going on and didn't say shit. We didn't see them, not even a peep. Like, they were just like, yeah, I'm a chill back. We didn't see not a single soul other than Piccolo and Trunks. That's it. Nobody else. Again, I know y'all feel like everybody's fodder. We don't need to show them if they're fodder. But Dragon Ball was built on the backs of a lot of these characters. So to just abandon them and throw them by the wayside is just completely disrespectful. And I still feel like we need an arc where they all get boosted and powered up in some way, shape, or form. I'm not trying to sound like a pompous Naruto fan, but even Naruto has better storytelling than DBZ and DB Super combined. DBZ isn't really known for its storytelling thoughts. Yeah, I covered that in the beginning of the stream. We all know that Dragon Ball is not known for storytelling or fantastic storytelling, but that doesn't mean that they can't start now or get better. If there's one anime that I feel like follows like a very, very similar blueprint to Dragon Ball, I would have to say Bleach. Now you might think like, what the fuck are you talking about? Bleach is literally like one plot just repeated over and over again, like each time in just different ways, with Ichigo getting a different power up. That's literally what it is. It's essentially, you know, following the DBZ blueprint. Naruto was more of a straightforward, we're gonna try and tell a straightforward story, but then I feel like in the 4th Ninja War arc they lost their way, and Kishimoto did some fuck shit and retconned a lot of stuff, threw some stuff in at the very, very, very end of the show that literally made no sense to me, which is why the 4th Ninja War is probably like the weakest arc for me in all of Naruto. But I digress. It could be Fairy Tail. Explain. I never watched. I stayed away from Fairy Tail. I didn't do that. I heard bad things about it. Which did you like more, Resurrection of F or Battle of the Gods? I'll probably say Resurrection F. I like the fight a little bit better in that. Battle of the Gods, I still hold issue with the way that Super Saiyan God was attained. I didn't like that. I still don't like that to this day. But what can you do? That's already done. Sosuke Aizen is gonna beat Broly hands down. That's a fact. Aizen, in my opinion, is the most powerful anime villain of all time. Aizen is somebody who brought about hopelessness in Bleach. I loved Aizen. Aizen is nasty, and if you don't know about Aizen, you need to go look up Aizen. A lot of people sleep on Aizen. In general, it had better storytelling, even with the flaws. Yeah. But then again, I feel like the story in Naruto is what is leading us to where we are now in Dragon Ball. You know, the whole let's make everybody friends. Let's be friends. Let's be cool. Let's keep adding more Z Warriors. I feel like that is a direct byproduct of that. That you can, you can believe me or you cannot. That's just how I feel on the situation. Did you finish the manga on Bleach? Yes, and I was mad at the ending, and I hope that the anime does come back so that they can tell the proper ending to the story, because that was not the proper ending. That was abrupt as fuck. Kirito could have beaten Broly. Okay, you're done for the night. No more comments for you, sir. I wonder what would have happened if Broly won, or if Whis or Beerus would have stepped in, or just give them a redo like Resurrection F. I don't think so. I don't know. For the sake of plot, yeah, that probably would have happened, but should it happen? No. At least I don't think it should happen. Aizen is a little hole. Yawaki eats him alive. I preferred Aizen over Yawak. Frieza is the best ragdoll in DBZ. This man was left for an hour and 30 minutes getting beat up. Exactly. Frieza is Team Rocket. Like I said earlier, Frieza has become the Team Rocket of Dragon Ball. I'm gonna stir up trouble. I'm gonna fuck shit up. Y'all gonna beat me up, and then you're still gonna let me leave and go back to my army to cause even more chaos. That's what Frieza has become for Dragon Ball. And I remember there was a point in time when Frieza was to be feared, and that time has long, long passed. Alright, Crown Prince. But yeah, so again, overall, I know we went off on a few tangents. Overall, the movie I gave it a 7 out of 10. I docked points for the specific things I talked about that the movie lacked. The animation and the fight was completely flawless. You literally can't complain. There's no way you can complain about that. The only other thing that I know people were complaining about was Broly getting wished away from the fight right at the end, which is kind of leaves you a little bit salty. Like really this is gonna happen. At this point in Dragon Ball, it's become like a trend to where nobody ever gets to wish for what they actually want with the Dragon Balls. It's always a wish, like a fucked up wish, or somebody screwing somebody else over, or something, or another. That's basically what it is. So the minute the Dragon Balls were thrown into the picture, I already knew what time it was. Do you think the new show will use this style of animation? No. I don't think that the new show is going to use this style of animation. It's too time consuming. And, you know, based on what they've done with One Piece, Toei is not in any position to spend a lot of time animating these episodes. I feel like they have too much on their plate. Or maybe, you know, they were just spending all their time animating this movie. I don't know. But I would love for the show to adopt this animation style. It was more reminiscent of early DBZ, so they weren't as angular, like the muscles weren't as sharp as they were before, and I thought that was dope. I enjoyed it a lot. Let's see. Frieza's still blowing, taking up planets. Do you think there could be fighters that could be a potential threat after? Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Hang on, I gotta take this. Hey, let me call you back. Alright, bye. But yeah. I got, oh boy. Let's see what's up. Did my stream freeze, y'all? Let me know what's up. It looks like it froze. I hope not. Let's move on and progress. I don't know if y'all can hear me, but let me know if my stream froze. Okay. Nah, it's good. Okay. Just on my screen, it just looks like it's done. Frieza's wish was absolutely ridiculous, yeah, but I just accepted that. It was just like one of those things where it's like, oh, what are you gonna do? That's what they wanted, right? Yeah. Oh boy, why does Vegeta not wish for Planet Vegeta back? I don't know. They bring a lot of morality into these things whenever it comes to, like, oh, I'm not gonna wish for immortality because of the joy of living life, and then, you know, you're seeing your loved ones pass away. They're always gonna bring some kind of morality into it. So you'll probably say that, you know, it's a good idea to bring back the Saiyans, especially since the Saiyans are a warrior race and they were going around conquering planets. To be honest, it's probably not the best idea to bring them back because you'd probably end up having to kill them all anyway. But yeah, it was 5 centimeters. Yeah, he wanted to grow 5 centimeters so it can look like he was still growing. Yeah, that was a bit ridiculous. But yeah, overall, you know, this stream was just for fun, just talking to you guys. I just wanted you guys to know, based on my review, a lot of y'all like, oh my god, you're wrong, you're not a real fan. I just wanted you to know, I still told y'all to go watch the movie if you haven't seen the movie. It was a great movie. It had its shortcomings, yes, but you know, that doesn't mean that it wasn't an enjoyable experience for you guys. But yeah, 100 Kagen Ninja. What I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna do another stream. I want to finish up the Impel Down arc, and then I will do a live stream on One Piece, and then I will do my live stream. I just finished Amazon Lily arc. I'm still writing up my notes on that. I stopped reading so I could finish up my Amazon Lily notes, and then I'm going to do my video for Sabari Archipelago, and then I'm going to do a video for Amazon Lily. I already did the reaction video for Zoro taking Luffy's pain, and I did the reaction video for Nightmare Luffy versus Moria. So those will be up on Patreon first, and then they'll be edited for the tube, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, man. I had a great time talking with all you guys. I'm gonna do this more. I should be live streaming tomorrow night with Lupa. We're probably gonna play some games and talk some more shit, and then you guys can get to hear his opinions on the movie, and then we can probably go back and forth. But that's pretty much all I got for you guys tonight, man. Gave you guys a nice little hour stream. It was a nice chat. I enjoyed talking with you guys, and y'all have a good night, man. Yeah, y'all still going off in the chat. y'all have a good night.